let's check out some morning movers. And we have Schwab Network's Diane King-Hall, host of Morning Movers, here taking a look at AT&T. And this is on the move to the upside by about 0.25%. A lot of news crossing.
Yeah, it is, which is interesting to see the move higher because, look, AT&T is spending a lot to gain more spectrum. They are spending $23 billion to get spectrum licenses from EchoStar. It's actually also seen as a big boon for EchoStar. So AT&T shares moving a little bit higher. EchoStar is moving higher by more than 70% off the back of this move because this is actually seen as a lifeline for EchoStar. For AT&T, it's a way to keep up in this 5G arms race. It's all about who has the most spectrum. It's this arms race against, of course, T-Mobile, Verizon. T-Mobile has had a lot of strength there because of the purchasing of Sprint it did some time ago. For AT&T, the licenses will span more than 400 U.S. markets and boost both their low band and their mid band holdings. Those are obviously critical frequencies when we're thinking about that fast coverage that 5G provides. You know, all the bars you look at on your phone, like how many bars do I have? This deal is set to close by mid-2026. In the meantime, AT&T can also lease some of that spectrum for, kind of early distribution of this. Now, again, for people who aren't up to speed on what spectrum is, it covers, coverage, capacity, speed, right? We need more and more speed the more and more we use the web, essentially. Low band, wide coverage, better indoor penetration. Mid band, faster speeds. That's essential for 5G capacity and both competition. Again, this helps AT&T, Nicole, close that gap with T-Mobile, which had a huge footprint in this space.
They have been investing and investing and investing, and actually have really served the shareholders quite well. The stock's up nearly 50% in 1 year.
Yeah.
So, it was sort of left behind in the world of telecom, but here
That's right.
doing better. And also the guidance looks good, right?
Yes, they are sticking by their guidance. So that's a key point here, right, in terms of the financial impact of this. They are funding this deal with cash and borrowing, so that does push up some of their leverage. But again, they are sticking by what their guidance has been previously in this space. So it shows that there's not going to be a lot of pressure on this, and that's why you can see that the stock is not moving dramatically off the back of this move.
And let's move on to the whole world of obesity, losing weight, and the pill, and didn't do very well for Pfizer, but Eli Lilly may have some good news here.
Different story here for Eli Lilly. It's time for apparently a magic pill here. So Eli Lilly shares moving higher off the back of up more than 3% off the back of a news that it has cleared another hurdle in terms of its trials for its obesity pill. This is the orforglipron, excuse my pronunciation of that. It's cleared another late stage trial here in patients with obesity and type 2 diabetes. For patients who were in these trials, they lost 10.5% of their weight over a 72-week period. So it's a long trial compared to those who just used the placebo. Those who just used the placebo only lost a little more than 2% of their weight. It wasn't just that. It also lowered blood sugar, that hemoglobin A1C. So that was a key piece of that in terms of the trial and the goals that they were seeking to reach, the criteria for this trial. So what this does is it is a game changer in the sense of looking for a needle-free alternative, right? For the injectable market, the GLP-1s, the semaglutide, tirzepatide, et cetera, has been a game changer when it comes to both obesity and treatment of diabetes. And now the question has been, is there a pill that can come to the market that can do the same or similar to what the injectables have produced? Now, to be fair, it hasn't had the same degree of efficacy. Efficacy, yes, but not the same degree as injectables, but certainly a contender when it comes to the weight loss market, Nicole.
And this story continues. I mean, it's been one that has been front and center for a time, so we'll continue to follow any updates on that. And then what about Ulta Beauty? We've been talking about this one, reports its earnings on Thursday.
That's right. So Ulta Beauty in focus, especially when it comes to the sell side today. A lot of sell side activity around Ulta Beauty today. In terms of the impact, shares little change today, but again, this one has been an outperformer year to date compared to, say, the S&P 500. Canaccord Genuity is bullish on this one. They are maintaining a buy rating, but they're raising their price target to 630. So certainly upside from here, another $100 and change from here. They say that the beauty category is resilient. merchandising improvements are helping Ulta regain a market share. And then they point out that Sephora's those store openings that they're starting to ease, so that reduces headwinds when you think about the competitive landscape of Ulta versus Sephora. They like the strategic initiatives that are happening under the CEO. So there's optimism from Canaccord Genuity heading into Ulta's results. Now, Jeffries, slightly different story. We'll call it cautious optimism. They are on the sidelines on this one. They've got a hold rating, but they are raising their price target to $550 from $425. So they see that there is still a little room for growth here in terms of the value of Ulta. They like, in terms of the positives, they like the new brand launches, the sales trends that have been improving since this spring. They're expecting a beat for the second quarter, and they're expecting a beat and raise. But their concerns are they want to see sustained comp sales growth. They want to see that within a long-term time period, right? Because we know Ulta had some challenges before. So they worry about that. And then they want to see foot traffic improve. They are noticing some trends when it comes to foot traffic for Ulta and Sephora. But that just may be a larger general trend. I mean, people don't go into stores as much as they used to. So they recognize that there's improvement, but the valuation and then just some overall structural risk temper their enthusiasm here. Telsey Advisory Group also out with a note on this one. They are keeping that outperform rating. So essentially they're bullish, Nicole. They've raised their price target to $590 from $520.
And look, they have the K beauty brands, 8 new K beauty brands. Yep. They're not really doing a lot of discounting. That also drives growth. And we've been talking about a lot of names that have been getting upgrades. I mean, we were talking about NVIDIA and AMD and different types of groups. I mean, the broadening of the market. And it's nice here to see this as well. And we talked about Eli Lilly.
That's
there
right.
was some good news there. There's bits and pieces of good news. So analysts are turning a bit bullish on this name, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then Telsey, in terms of the strengths that they're highlighting, when it comes to Ulta, they like the store footprint, they like the infrastructure here, they like the loyalty program, and they like their brand partnerships. So that has been key. They also see international reach as a competitive advantage for Ulta, Nicole.
Okay, Diane King Hall, great to see you.
Thank you
so much. Key names to watch.